Well, welcome back to another edition of 42nd Street Pete's Grindhouse, really weird cinema. But before we start, update on Boots. Today is Friday. It's been a weird week with everything going on with the weather and shit like that. But I finally got her back to eating what she eats normally. Problem was the damn fucking dry food was too hard, and I think that's what caused her to get sick the last time. So I've been cooking chicken for her and cooking brown rice and mushing the dog food. And like I said, for the past 2 days, she's eaten 2 bowls a day, which is head and shoulders above what she was doing. And like I said, I'm not fooling anybody, but I'll take each day she's here as a gift. So that's that. But back to our feature for today, another jungle epic called Trader Hornee. Of course, when you watch the movie, the E's are silent. This was written and produced by Dave Friedman, and who directed this damn thing? Somebody famous directed this. I've been like trying to, I don't know what I'm doing here, but Jonathan Lucas directed this. Jonathan was Dave Friedman's next door neighbor and was directing the Dean Martin show. And Dave just said, "Hey, I'm going to try this thing," and he did. This was his first feature film, and it's basically a remake and spoof of 1930s African adventure Trader Horn. And it starts off with black and white footage where a zoologist couple and their 6-year-old blonde daughter are, in deepest, darkest Aniston, Africa, they say. And they are attacked by this tribe, and of course the parents are killed, and the 6-year-old girl runs off into the jungle to become the legendary blonde goddess Alani or something like that. Portrayed by newcomer Deke Sills, and this was her only film, your standard, blonde jungle adventurist that basically, according to Dave, didn't do a hell of a lot after this except hook up with, rock stars and things like that and then disappeared. So, anyway, of course, this detective agency with Mr. Hornee is dispatched to find this young lady because she's an heiress, and of course, there's a couple cousins that don't want her found. There's a guy named Dr. Stanley Livingston, who's with another woman who's a reporter. So there's a lot of ample nudity abounding here because it's a Dave Friedman film, and a lot of it's tongue-in-cheek. And honestly, it's not a bad film. It plays out like a comedy adventure sort of thing. And Dave did have some live animals on the set. I think there was a cougar or a mountain lion or some kind of cheetah or something like that, and a small Indian elephant that she could ride on. And then Dave said he went down to the stock footage warehouse and bought a few thousand feet of stock footage film from Africa. So he could say that some of it was shot in deepest, darkest Africa. So, it's obvious that he was having fun with this stuff. That was the whole thing. Of course, there's a subplot with this white gorilla who's really a Nazi wearing a white gorilla suit, who has $25 million in stolen gold that Aquilina thinks is hers or whatever. So there's a whole thing going on with that, and he unmasks himself at the end. Actually, the backstory from this is a little bit more interesting because after Dave shot it, he just looked at it and said, "I'm not going to throw it before the MPAA, I'm just going to run it as an X." And of course, it went right to the Pussycat Theater chain in California, where it was basically drawing a lot of couples and big crowds. And then Dave decided to take it to the MPAA, and they only wanted a couple little cuts. I think there was an S&M scene or something that they cut out. And then the thing went into mainstream distribution as an R, and basically did really well. It was a $62,000 film that brought in over $1 million. So not a bad investment. Like I said, these people were like lined up around the block for it and things. Oh, here comes Boots now. What do you want? You want to annoy me again? You were just out. So, it's like, Dave was having fun with this. I think that was the whole motif. He said this was his next favorite film next to Schifri because of, the Carney thing. But, I think the real reason that Dave wasn't crazy about going into, the hardcore X stuff is because it was too fucking easy. I mean, let's face it, as a seller of the stuff, it is too fucking easy to move. And what he was doing with this exploitation stuff was there was a plot, there was, capable actors, it was fun. It was a fun movie. And a lot of his movies were a lot of fun. And they were all, sort of done tongue-in-cheek because he was having fun doing them. And you don't get guys like that anymore. And that's why I terribly miss Dave, and a lot of us miss Dave, because he was a one of a kind. He was the mighty monarch of exploitation, and that fits him to a T. So I don't know if this one's available or not. I'm hoping there's going to be some kind of a Dave Friedman box set with this, you know, the erotic adventures of Zorro, the adult version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and some of the other stuff he did. So that's our show for today. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in. Try to have a good weekend, because it's so cold and shitty, nobody can enjoy themselves. But I'm watching a lot of movies and reading a lot of books. So until next time, stay safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.